Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the comic book Flashback. Today we are looking at the X-Men issue number 96. This issue came out in December of 1975, and so today we're going to be looking at a fantastic story today as the X-Men battled this big demon today. So we got a great story for you today. Go ahead, like this video if you have not. Go ahead and subscribe if you have not already, and let's go ahead and get started. As always, this is brought to you by Chris Claremont, the author, Dave Cockrum doing the artwork, Sam Granger doing the inking, Dave Hunt, lettering page, Phil Rachelson, the colorist, Marv Wolfman, the editing, and then we also have Bill Mantlo helping with the plotting as well. So a lot of people contributing to this great issue today. We pick up from last issue and how we had, the death of Thunderbird. Sadly, Thunderbird died in the plane crash last issue, and so now we have a brooding Cyclops here. He feels guilty about the whole scenario, whether he's at home asleep or he's awake. He continues to have those images of the death of Thunderbird in his mind. He feels guilty about it. He feels like if he did something differently, if he acted differently, Thunderbird would be alive right now. But instead, we see that Thunderbird died last issue. So we have the entire X-Men pretty sad about it, and Cyclops is taking it pretty hard on himself. He lashes out, and so he just lets his full force of his optic blast go through these trees here. And so, and we see right here that it blasts one of this little temple here. And we come to find out that this is a Nagarai temple here, and they're going to play a big part into the store today with the demon that they will fight. And so Cyclops comes to find out that, why did I just do that? I know I need to be more responsible with my optic blast. It's pretty dangerous for me to do that. And he's like, you know what? I've done this type of work all my life, or for a very long time actually. I've been an X-Men. I'm good at it. And this is the price that comes. And Thunderbird knew the price as well. He knew that it's a dangerous thing to do to be an X-Men, to go out and do these type of missions to fight the forces of evil as a mutant. And so Cyclops comes together here. He gathers his thoughts and he's finally going to walk away. But we see right here that this demon starts to spawn here. And so that's going to play a big, great role into this issue today. We have, we cut here, we have the X-Men here, and they're in the danger room. They're just training here. And we have Colossus here. He gets surprised here and he knocks Wolverine full force. Wolverine lands on his feet, and now the Wolverine's going to lash out on Colossus, but Storm gets in the way, and she uses her elemental powers to cause Wolverine to not be able to get in contact with Colossus. We have Nightcrawler here thinking it's pretty funny. Wolverine's like, that's not funny, bub. So Wolverine tries his best to slash Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler teleports just in time, and we have Banshee here just getting on to Wolverine's like, that's not right. You could have killed him. And so we have one thing we need to understand is that Professor Xavier, he's pretty tired out. He's just depressed on what happened last issue with Thunderbird, and so he's wanting to take a vacation. And he tells Banshee he needs to go answer the door because we have a new housekeeper, and that housekeeper is going to be this lady here, and her name is Moria MacTaggart. And so, Banshee here, he thinks, oh, Mrs. MacTaggart, she's probably like an 80-year-old, ugly-looking person, ugly as sin. He opens the door, and he sees this pretty lady here just standing there with her luggage. He's like, well, are you going to let me in? And so we have the introduction of Moria MacTaggart here. But we also have right here another guy, and he's going to be the antagonist for the story and future storyline setting up here. We have Dr. Lang here, and he is setting up the Project Armageddon. And this project basically is the annihilation of all mutants. All mutants here. He wants to just start a war on mutant kind. He wants to experiment on mutants. We have this guy here, and his name is Michael, and he's from Washington, and he's going to basically come here to give a final report either a red light or green light on Project Armageddon. Michael here is saying that it's a no-go. He thinks the project is dangerous, and we have here Dr. Lang here. He just gets infuriated. He's like, look, mutants are a big threat. They're a threat to humankind. And this is the kind of ideology that Dr. Lang has here. And he remembers how Bolivar Trask, he did something very similar. And we have how the X-Men pretty much, he blames the X-Men for killing Bolivar Trask. And so this is what we have Dr. Lang here. He's wanting to do something very similar to what Bolivar Trask did, and that is he wants to create Sentinels to destroy mutants. But we have Michael here. He's like, when I get back to Washington, I'm going to tell the president and everybody that Project Armageddon is over. It's not going to happen. But we have Dr. Lang here, and he's like, well, in order for that to happen, you're not going to return to Washington alive. And you see right here the silhouette, and it looks like it's a sentinel. And so it looks like Dr. Lang has already pretty much manufactured sentinels here. So they're going to make a big threat, and we might be seeing some of the sentinels next issue. We'll see later on. So we catch up with the X-Men here, and they've met Maury McTaggart. Everybody seems to like Maury McTaggart, but all of a sudden they hear like this big blast. They hear that it has to be Cyclops. Cyclops is thrown inside the window, just the opening of the X mansion, and he's like, "Everybody, get back! We got this demon on the loose, and it's this demon that has been reawoken. His name is Carrick. He's Carrick the Dam, and he basically wants to kill the X-Men. And he calls himself a demon, and he takes people's souls. And so the X-Men are going to be battling this demon here inside the X-Mansion. And this guy seems pretty indestructible here. He swipes at Storm here. Colossus throws in a few blows here. Punches Carrick here. Still doesn't do much damage. Then we have Nightcrawler. He tries his best, but to no avail. And then we have Wolverine here. He actually strikes at Carrick, and Carrick's like, for the first time, a human has hurt me in a long time. And then Wolverine goes rampage here. Feral rampage. He slashes and dices on Carrick, and Carrick seems to be dead. Wolverine's like, for 10 years I've been, had psychic training, hypnotism training, drug therapy. For 10 years I underwent all of that, and it still didn't do no good. As Wolverine he's pretty ruthless with his claws. But we see right here that Carrick is starting to recharge, and Wolverine's like, how is this possible? I thought I just killed him. And so what Professor Xavier is going to tell Storm to do is she needs to go locate the source of where Carrick gets his powers, and she needs to destroy it. And so he probes the inside of Carrick's mind, and it's just awful scenes of what he sees. And so we have Maury McTaggart. She pulls on an AK-47 and starts shooting at him. I don't know how she gets this gun. I guess it's an armory here. I guess Professor Xavier has an armory inside the X-Mansion. So we have Banshee here. He comes to the rescue of Maury McTaggart, tells her to get out of the way. Storm goes, and she's going to find the source of this power that Carrick gets. And she fights off a horde of demons here, but she uses her power here with the elemental powers to destroy the rest of this cairn. And by doing this, it allows this demon to die, basically. So the Carrick the demon, he simply vanishes. He turns to dust. And so that's the end of Carrick here. Storm returns to the X-Mansion. And so now Professor Xavier's pretty worried about leaving the X-Men, but he's still set on taking his vacation. But the main thing we need to focus on from this issue is that Michael, the guy that confronted Dr. Lang, died in a plane crash, and it looked like it was sabotage. And so we have just a plane on fire, and all the crew on board had died as well. And we know that Dr. Lang must have been involved with the murder of Michael. And so now we have Project Armageddon underway. It's a big threat to the X-Men. And so we'll have to find out what happens next issue, as the title is My Brother, My Enemy. We're going to be seeing the return of some X-Men here. So that should be pretty exciting here. So I hope you tune in for next issue as we look at number 97. So go ahead, like this video, comment down below what you liked, and I will see you next time as we look at issue number 97.